Muy buenos días. Bienvenidos a esta conferencia virtual sobre el Dios Rama en el marco de la exposición Lok Mein Ram, el Dios Rama entre la gente, del programa Rumbo al Cervantino 50, con la India como país invitado. Es un honor contar con la participación de la licenciada Adriana Camarena de Obeso, directora general del Instituto Estatal de la Cultura de Guanajuato, del doctor Pankaj Sharma, embajador de la India en México, y de la doctora Srimati Das, primera secretaria y directora del Centro Cultural de la India en México, Gurudev Tagore. Para dar inicio a esta transmisión, escucharemos el mensaje de bienvenida de la licenciada Adriana Camarena de Obeso.
Muy buenos días a todos. En nombre del Instituto Estatal de la Cultura de Guanajuato, me es grato saludar al excelentísimo señor embajador de la India en México, doctor Pankaj Sharma. Bienvenido a nuestro país, señor embajador. Le deseo el mayor de los éxitos. Saludo igualmente a la doctora Srimati Das, primera secretaria y directora del Centro Cultural de la India en México, Gurudev Tagore, y le agradezco desde aquí a Yuji Rai, agregada para Asuntos Económicos de la India en México, con quienes tuvimos el honor de presenciar a finales del mes de enero las múltiples actividades en torno a la Jornada Cultural de la India en Guanajuato, dentro del programa Rumbo al Cervantino 50, y en el marco de la celebración por los 75 años de independencia de la India, el 74 aniversario luctuoso de Mahatma Gandhi y los 72 años de las relaciones bilaterales entre la India y México. Por ello, señor embajador, a nombre del Gobierno del Estado de Guanajuato, a través del Instituto Estatal de la Cultura, deseo externarle nuestro más sincero agradecimiento y reiterarle nuestra disposición y solidaridad para fortalecer las relaciones bilaterales de carácter cultural con la India a través tanto de la Embajada en México, que usted honrosamente preside, como del Consejo Indio de Relaciones Culturales y el Centro Cultural de la India en México, Gurudev Tagore. En este contexto, y como continuación del Festival de la India en Guanajuato, nos complace su participación en esta charla virtual sobre historia y trascendencia del Dios Rama, personaje central de la exposición Lok Mein Ram, el Dios Rama entre la gente, una de las 3 exposiciones que junto a la exhibición de los ares y piezas de mujeres grabadoras de la India fueron inauguradas en el Museo del Pueblo de Guanajuato en enero pasado. Señor embajador, le reitero nuestra gratitud por compartir con Guanajuato parte de la herencia y patrimonio cultural de la India. Es un honor tenerlo en esta transmisión. Muchísimas gracias.
Muchas gracias, licenciada Adriana Camarena. Ahora cedemos la palabra a la doctora Srimati Das.
Quote, as long as the mountains and even rivers flourish on the surface of the earth, so long the legend of Rama will flourish in this world. Sant Kalidasa, author of Ramayana. Namaskar. His Excellency, the Ambassador of India to Mexico, Dr. Pankaj Sharma, Adriana Camarena de Obeso, Director General of the State Institute of Culture of Guanajuato, Maestro Arturo Lopez Rodriguez, Director of Museums, and my dear viewers on all official social media pages of GTO, Embassy of India, GTICC, Mexico City. We are extremely honored today to have the Ambassador of India to Mexico with us to throw much light on the exhibits at Museo del Pueblo at Guanajuato City, Guanajuato, as part of celebrating the Festival of India at Guanajuato State. Rama's appeal goes beyond religion, country, continent. Why talk of Lord Rama now? Today, as India is celebrating India at 75 and the projection of the global image of Akam, Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, there could not have been a more opportune moment than this. We are indeed very thankful to Government of India's art and cultural organization, the Lalit Kala Academy, and the Indian Council for Cultural Relations, ICCR, Government of India, for having sent to us the three collections of quintessential Indian art forms, Lok Mein Ram, Stri Drishti, and miniature paintings, giving us a panorama of all things beautiful and relevant for the world at large. It's India's gift to Mexico to have a glimpse, absorb, and appreciate how these art forms that can build strong, sustainable bridges of tradition and culture between India and Mexico, the two preferred partners. The 27 art sketches in color of Rama's life and times project him, the humble, dignified, a perfect personification of the ideal human being. Lord Rama stands as an epitome for truth, justice, humanity, and as a mixture of high heroism and deep compassion. The 27 frames are all highly juxtaposed to Rama's different avatars and marks his presence with an extremely mild attitude and his views on matters of kingdom and relationships, be it with his wife Sita, his brothers, his father, stepmother, family, and friends. It's an all encompassing lesson on relationships which sets the benchmark for all of us to follow, particularly the two social norms in India and Mexico, so similar in our attitude of life and relationships. Renowned artists drawn across all regions from India speaks volume about the all-inclusive culture of India to contribute to its glory and artistic acclaim across the globe. Lalit Kala Academy goes a step further and collects all these art forms, be it in the realm of gods, mortal beings, women, traditional miniatures from Bharat, India, and disseminates it to the world at large through the embassies and cultural centers abroad. We are extremely fortunate that Embassy of India, Gurudev Tagore Indian Cultural Center at Mexico City could get these much sought after art forms from India with the support of Indian Council for Cultural Relations, Government of India. We are also indeed very happy that Museo de Pueblo, Guanajuato, has been very supportive in exhibiting these art forms in all its glory since January 28, 2022, after having a high decimal opening of the exhibits. We are very happy with the extreme cooperation extended to us by the state government of Guanajuato as a precursor towards Cervantino at 50. The grandeur and beauty of these exhibits have to be seen to be appreciated. Gurudev Tagore Indian Cultural Center, Embassy of India at Mexico City, is extremely honored to welcome His Excellency, the Ambassador of India to Mexico, Dr. Pankaj Sharma, to lead us and address us today on the importance of having Rama at Guanajuato. Ambassador Pankaj Sharma, a career diplomat, belongs to the 1991 batch of the Indian Foreign Service. He took charge as the Ambassador of India to Mexico on 9th February 2022. Prior to his current assignment in Mexico, he was the Ambassador, Permanent Representative of India to the Conference on Disarmament in Geneva. Ambassador Sharma has 3 decades of rich experience in the gamut of Indian diplomacy, covering political, security, disarmament, geostrategic, economic, and commercial affairs, and India's development partnership with other countries. He holds a PhD in Management Information Technology and a Master of Technology in Management and Systems from the Indian Institute of Technology, Delhi. He had been a visiting faculty member at the Department of Management Information Systems at the Crenat School of Management, Purdue University, USA from 2001 to 2002. Ambassador Sharma's diplomatic career in the Indian Foreign Service began from Moscow, where he worked in the Indian mission from 1993 to 1994. Following this, he was the Consul General at Odessa, Ukraine from 1994 to 1997. His other assignments include Joint Secretary and Head of the Disarmament and International Security Affairs Division, Joint Secretary of Technical Cooperation and Economic Relations Division, Deputy Secretary, Director at the UN Political Division and the East Europe Division at the Ministry of External Affairs of India. He has served in the Indian missions in the Russian Federation, Ukraine, USA, Israel, the Netherlands, and Switzerland. While at the Embassy of India, The Hague, Ambassador Sharma served as the alternate permanent representative of India to the OPCW. Subsequently, from April 2012 to 2016, he was on deputation to the Organization for the Prohibition of Chemical Weapons, OPCW. As Joint Secretary, D and ISA Division from November 2016 till October 2018, his responsibilities included all issues of relevance to disarmament, non-proliferation and arms control, civil nuclear cooperation, strategic trade, space cooperation, maritime security, export controls, and multilateral export control regimes, etc. Ambassador Sharma has represented India in several international conferences and seminars. He has a number of articles published in the international referred journals. With this introduction, it's a great privilege for the Gurudev Tagore Indian Cultural Center, Embassy of India at Mexico, to present Ambassador Dr. Pankaj Sharma to Mexico. Namaskar. Viva India, viva México.
Gracias a la doctora Srimati Das por esta introducción y escucharemos con atención al señor embajador de la India en México, Dr. Pankaj Sharma, quien impartirá la conferencia sobre la trascendencia cultural del Dios Rama.
Honorable dignitaries of the government of Guanajuato, dear friends of India, my warm greetings and buenas tardes. It gives me great pleasure today to present a glimpse of the many facets of India's rich and diverse culture to our friends in Mexico. As a democratic polity, pluralistic society, innovative economy, and a culture of unmatched diversity, India's contributions have earned great appreciation worldwide. This is equally true of Mexico, which also shares a similar mix of rich traditions and modernity. Today's event is a part of continued festivities highlighting India's cultural traditions. In this context, it is my privilege to acknowledge the 3 exhibits sent by India's premier art organization, Lalit Kala Academy, and the Indian Council for Cultural Relations on Lok Mein Ram, Stri Drishti, and miniature paintings of India. I take this opportunity to commend the Gurudev Tagore Indian Cultural Center under the leadership of its director, Dr. Srimati Das, who continues to build strong bridges between Mexico and India through her endeavors, and who had this exhibition inaugurated this year in Guanajuato on the 28th of January. Let me speak briefly about today's topic, Lok Mein Ram, depicting the life and times of Lord Rama, and especially about the 27 frames which are on display at Museo del Pueblo at Guanajuato, along with the stories and importance of Lord Rama, who is worshipped in India for being the symbol of courtesy, virtue, and high morals. Today, even as India eyes expeditions to Mars, our feet stay grounded in spirituality and the virtues that the Indian gods endowed upon us. Mexico, being one of the most ancient civilizations, is as spiritual, and therefore the relevance of Lord Rama, who ruled 10,013 years ago, would certainly resonate with the rich audience here. Like many Indian gods, Lord Rama too is believed to be a human incarnation of God Vishnu, who descended from heaven to earth to lead the humanity and set an example of all that is noble and righteous. Lord Rama is much more than simply the name of a Hindu god. The beauty of Lord Rama lies in his character and not in his name, one that depicts the attributes of being humane. Lord Rama was a selfless king of Ayodhya who thought of his people before thinking about himself, which was demonstrated through subjecting even his wife Sita to the Agni Pariksha, a fire test. When Lord Rama met Kekai, his stepmother, who had conspired to unfairly deprive him of his kingdom and banish him to the forest for 14 years, instead of showing traits of vengeance and spite, Lord Rama was forgiving, polite, and affectionate towards her, completely in conformity with his essential character of Maryada Purushottam, that is, a perfect man, for which he is venerated by millions. He says to Mother Kekai, Sun Janani Soisut Barbhagi, Jo Pitumat Vachan Anuragi, which translates to Mother, that son is blessed, who has the opportunity to lovingly obey his mother and father. By respecting his filial duties, Lord Rama has showcased exemplary behavior, one that is idealized for being the embodiment of a perfect son. Lord Rama is both valorous and benevolent. He is always gentle and caring, compassionate towards the weak and the vulnerable, and magnanimous towards the enemy, even when he chastises them for what is wrong. These are the characteristics of a good ruler and a good king, which Lord Rama epitomizes. Lord Rama is not about Hindu or Indian identity, but is a symbol of a global identity. Instead of imposing his beliefs on others, his fight had always been for principles and not identities. Today, when the world is facing many moral dilemmas, his life and principles of truthfulness, integrity, and honesty would serve us well. Lord Rama's life and lessons have been documented in an ancient Indian epic called Ramcharitmanas by Saint Tulsidas. Mahatma Gandhi, the father of our nation, is known to have regarded the Ramcharitmanas as one of the greatest books in all devotional literature. So also did the linguist Sir George Griffith, who described Lord Rama as the greatest leader of the people after the Buddha. The wisdom that this epic has imparted makes Lord Rama greatly revered around the world. Apart from many frames depicting the various facets of Lord Rama's life in the exhibition, mention must also be made of Hanuman, a loyal devotee of Lord Rama, whose frames also find a place in the exhibition. Hanuman played a very prominent role in the life of Rama and was sent to Lanka to bring back Lord Rama's wife Sita, who was abducted by the evil Ravana. Hanuman describes himself as being in the eternal service of Lord Rama. Lord Rama had entrusted Hanuman as an envoy, and as such is considered as the first Indian ambassador sent overseas on a diplomatic mission. The unconditional loyalty that Hanuman portrayed and proved to Lord Rama is an example to follow and can be a great role model for the younger generations not only in India, but all over the world. Lord Rama stood for an orderly and harmonious society with good moral values and high standards of integrity, and would remain a guiding force to be reckoned with. This realization has dawned more profoundly in the backdrop of the recent COVID pandemic, wherein his teachings of compassion and caring seem to be of greater relevance than ever before. To conclude, let me quote the great world philosopher Swami Vivekananda, for whom Lord Rama was the embodiment of truth, of morality, the ideal son, the ideal husband, and above all, the ideal king. He will remain a symbol of victory of good over evil. Lord Rama characterizes how we can fulfill our moral commitments even in the face of difficult choices. And it is for this reason that Lord Rama is known as Maryada Purushottam, or the man of dignity, deference. It is my great honor to invite you all to visit the exhibition at the Museo Pueblo at Guanajuato City, so that we can all take some inspiration from the life of Lord Rama. Once again, my greetings and best wishes to all. I thank you for your attention.
Mahayodhya Rama, el gran guerrero Rama. Está muy cerca de los corazones de los indios, ya que personifica la esencia misma del ser humano, amable, compasivo y valiente. Las imágenes expuestas en el Museo del Pueblo en Guanajuato son una gran herramienta para relacionar la vida y los tiempos del señor Rama con el mundo, especialmente ahora que la India celebra los 75 años de su independencia. Nosotros, el equipo del Centro Cultural de la India Gurudev Tagore, GTICC de la Embajada de la India en la Ciudad de México, liderado por su excelencia, el Embajador de la India, Dr. Pankaj Sharma, y la directora del GTICC, la Dra. Shrimati Das, estamos muy orgullosos de traer estas imágenes enmarcadas de Lok Mein Ram, junto con las imágenes enmarcadas de Sri Drishti y los 42 saris de la maravilla de 6 yardas de la Lalit Kala Academy y el Consejo Indio para las Relaciones Culturales, Gobierno de la India, a los espectadores y grandes aficionados de la cultura india de Guanajuato, México. Este video en particular es sobre Lok Mein Ram, Rama en Guanajuato. Hemos presentado a Lord Rama en Guanajuato para seguir en México a través de 5 ciudades una tras otra para que la India pueda ser apreciada en todas sus diferentes dimensiones culturales. Las exposiciones en curso en el Museo del Pueblo de la ciudad de Guanajuato te llevarán a un viaje del señor Rama, el príncipe de Ayodhya, para transmitir el importante mensaje a la humanidad de que personalidades como Rama de todos los países y las culturas son lo que la humanidad necesita para todos nuestros males. Las imágenes enmarcadas en colores vibrantes representan la figura de Lord Rama de pie sosteniendo un arco y una flecha, que es una imagen de gran fuerza y poder, pero es el poder interior de su profundo carácter moral. La fuerza física está al lado de la fuerza moral. La bondad interior es más reflexiva que la fuerza física exterior. Es una imagen perfecta de un hombre valiente que vence todo el mal en medio de todos los poderes negativos que nos rodean. Un gran viaje de aprendizaje para ver todas estas imágenes de Rama, su esposa Sita, su devoto Hanuman. Todas las imágenes expuestas sirven para presentar las representaciones iconográficas del señor Rama y sus hazañas y conquistas sobre todos los males de la naturaleza. Te invitamos a visitar el museo y a disfrutar de las 3 exposiciones traídas especialmente para ti desde la India.
Agradecemos al señor embajador, Dr. Pankaj Sharma, sus palabras sobre este interesante tema en la cultura y en el arte de la India, y que con sumo respeto y gratitud hemos presenciado en Guanajuato. Para concluir, queremos agradecer nuevamente a nombre del Instituto Estatal de la Cultura de Guanajuato, a la Embajada de la India en México, al Consejo Indio de Relaciones Culturales, al Centro Cultural de la India en México, Gurudev Tagore, y a todos ustedes por seguir esta transmisión. Muchas gracias.
Instituto Estatal de la Cultura.
Guanajuato, Gobierno del Estado.